So there I was yesterday wondering why I don't want to do anything, which is silly because I've arrived at that destination several times, many, many times in my life. But this time I have the benefit of chatting or having chatted with Claude for a while. And, there's the list of, seven types of rest, and I had eight. It's great that you can have AI tell you if you're feeling XYZ, like you probably need this type of rest. That's not the route I took. I basically asked Claude because this whole like working 3 hours a day and only 3 hours a day is so important to me because I tend to get excited about what I'm doing and then overdo and then wonder why I have no juice, right, to be consistent with. And then I realized that the way that I grew up, not saying that that's how it's going to be, but it makes sense why I'm programmed this way right now. That the types of rest that work for my human design, for example, thanks to Claude, the heart ego center turning off, like not trying to make things happen. It's like my true off switch activities are laying in the sun, just existing, like not reading a book, like literally lay in the sun, like watching the clouds drift. Like I did that the other day and I got a really great idea. So that's the other tough thing is like I feel like I've asked the universe for a lot of things. And so when I like basically get into a receptive mode, it all seems to come. So I have to figure that out. Or it will figure itself out. Floating in water, which for most of the season, it's really hard to do that in Minnesota. The bathtub is a little small. I currently don't have my membership at Lifetime, but the pool there, it's like maybe it's a mental block for myself, but like I hate smelling like chlorine. So I'm sitting here going, oh, great. So now I have to like contend with I don't want to be cold, but if I'm next to an ocean, do I need to just buy a wetsuit and deal with it? um, Sitting or laying still with eyes closed. Now, meditation used to handle a lot of that, and I haven't been regular with my meditations. But I think that's also because like I have not felt content to meditate, which I know is not how it works, but it does help. Like when all those monks are meditating at a monastery, it's like they have to work for their food, yes, but like everything is structured. And right now, I'm still at Tina's place. I haven't fully unpacked because I'm not sure if I want to like just take a trailer to Seattle for now and enjoy summer there, get there earlier. Um, and all of that would be easier if I just like sat with my eyes closed or laid with my eyes closed more often. Yesterday, to my credit, I tried to do that, but the roofers were here and wow, I had earplugs in and I still like could not settle. Um, Listening to music with no analyzing. Now, as someone who used to DJ, like I used to listen to a lot of music and it probably gave me a lot of restfulness, but I've also realized like how many of your emotions can be borrowed from other people, and this might be less of an issue for people who are less open-centered or empathic or just sensitive, but hearing like the pain in an artist's voice repeating over and over again because it's a sad song like actually does affect me. And when you look at like the lyrics of songs that were super duper popular in your head as well as popular because it came to you, you're like, wow, this seems to be like a trend in society, not just the lyrics, but actually what the lyrics represent. And so I've been overanalyzing my music for a while. Um, I need to just enjoy some of it and perhaps just get back into music that has fewer lyrics, maybe. Um, Very simple breath work, just inhale, exhale with no technique, like nothing fancy, just noticing your breath. Maybe that's why I'm stuffed up right now. I mean, I know it's also because of dairy and sugar. But solo nature rest, I'm going, where do I just get to lay on grass? Like where? That doesn't have like pet poop in it, or where I was growing up, like more dangerous things in it. Sitting against a tree. Like there are very few trees where I grew up. I love I loved my campus because there are a lot of trees. But walking with no goal or route, what? I feel so foreign to me. For me, it's usually like exploring a new park, which feels like a goal. Being near water, shoreline sitting counts. I probably need to go stare at the lake more. Quiet park wandering. Um, Water-based reset is your nervous system's reset button. I do take long, warm baths. I probably should count how many I'm taking because it's not enough. Showers where you linger instead of rush. That's just my default. That's probably where I get most of my resetting. Floating in lakes or the ocean, like I absolutely love floating in the ocean. Like, do I frequently dream of living in Bali just so I could float in the ocean regularly? Yes. 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 Am I married to Tina and I want her to come with me, but we don't know how right now? Yes. Um, Hot springs, if available. I mean, I want that. Hot springs don't exist here. It's just not a thing. Mm-mm. And the boring ones, sleep before 10, 20 to 60-minute naps, and laying down during the day with no phone. I used to lay down in the day with no phone more often when, for some reason, I don't like laying on the couch. But when we had a day bed and floor seating, yeah, you go from like sitting on the floor to just laying on the floor. It was so easy. I think that's where, like, for me, the environmental design is so key. Because right now I'm just like surrounded with boxes and a desk that I'm not even using. I mostly sit at the kitchen table. Um, and then aura clearing. It says this is not optional for you. Sitting alone in your apartment. Yes, it's not my apartment, but I'm sitting alone. Walking alone without music or podcast. And I'm going, does it count if I'm like wearing these glasses and like narrating my thoughts to myself? Oh, music, music. All right. I think it turned off. Gentle mobility work alone. I haven't done my mobility alone in a while. This weird thing happens where when I start doing something with somebody, it starts to feel weird doing it without that person. But it would benefit me highly to do mobility twice a day. Also because I'm following along with like the 15-minute video instead of like doing the prescribed number of reps, which would take longer. Um, so that'd probably be really great for me. Taking a bath alone, yes. And then being somewhere with people around but not engaging, like a cafe or a park. And I did that yesterday morning. I felt really good. I mean, I had to still interact with the server, right? But that felt nice. So I'm wondering right now, like, if I go mountain biking, but I have an electric mountain bike and I'm really just there just to flow, can that feel like rest? Because for me, being in nature right now and getting movement, like I know that this is all about rest, but I also know from my aura data that when I have movement, I'm more likely to feel really restful or go into restorative time. And what I've noticed, right, is that I can't seem to like get clarity on, do I want to be in Seattle or do I want to like put my effort in here to get this place not only organized for me, but also like progressively emptied out. And then I'm going, how much of that work do I want to do versus like build the business and then be able to move this stuff without paring it down so aggressively? Because we could afford, for example, the moving truck and a trailer and 2 trips and flights, right? Because right now my mental like vision of how this like move has to happen is that we're gonna like save up this money and then get like one medium U-Haul and then like have to drive separately, like have to drive the car separately, cars separately. I really should draw this out because I had it in my head before I left for the road trip, which is partially why I wanted to bring 2 bikes on the road trip so that we wouldn't have to put 2 or 3 on later. But the other possibility, of course, is that instead of distracting myself with like all these things that I've done before, I've set up a house like so many times. I have decluttered so many times. How about I just actually learn to play and rest again? Because it's something that I really like I need to learn again. I don't have children. I have a cat which likes to play, but it's like limited in the way that it can play. Misty's not going to play fetch. And this enjoyment, um, this like just spiritual, simple, nature, outdoors based enjoyment, not just like enjoyment with other people right now. And I recognize like I've stepped back from some community things and I have basically asked myself, like, what is going to be my dream life that also serves people, but isn't in any of the ways necessarily that I've done it before, right? So, like, I like phone calls with folks, but I also realize that more of my connections tend to, not intentionally, but take more energy than I feel like I receive over time, and then I feel drained. And it's like I keep getting this like prompt from my when I ask like it's like you need nourishing people. And I'm like, I don't like I sometimes don't know what that means because I feel like grandmas are really nourishing, right? Like they'll listen to you, they'll tell you, straight up what you need to hear sometimes, but lovingly. Um but I'm like, what is a nourishing connection at this point, right? Because I don't find it necessarily nourishing to be, for example, talking about problems that I'm having and having someone be like, "Oh, honey, that's okay. That's understandable." Like, I get that. A lot of people have similar things. But what feels nourishing to me is somebody that either can hold that and just be like, "Yep, that sucks." But move on and talk about what they're doing without like getting stuck in it. Like maybe it's because I've like been around a lot of people where the negativity spiral, like it's like, oh well, you think it's bad. Well, it's like I'm not trying to compare being like things that we would like to improve. Like, hmm. I think I gotta suss that out because I don't know what nourish. I mean, like my friends that really believe in me and they're like, this is great that you're doing this and um those things. What would I call nourishing? Hmm, that's a great question. Might have to think on that. Hmm. Mm. All right. I'm gonna actually smash this breakfast so I can get out the door.